What is a useless fact that you know? In an airport x-ray, a block of cheese and a block of plastic explosive look identical. There are two ATMs in Antarctica, and they are both owned by Wells Fargo. Donald Duck's middle name is Fauntleroy. The American bison can jump up to 6 feet, 1.8 meters, high. You can hear a blue whale's heartbeat from 2 miles away. Pound for pound, hamsters are probably the animal that can drink the most alcohol in the animal kingdom. Gorillas have an average of 5 centimeter penis length. And it gives me reassurance. The only London Underground station which doesn't share any letters with the word mackerel is St John's Wood. Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Oxford was founded roughly 300 years before the Aztec Empire. Average adult spends more time on the toilet than they do exercising. Lego makes the most tires in the world. Only 2 species seek out onions to eat, humans and groundhogs. Snails' mating process includes following each other's slime trails and then drooling all over each other, and since they have both sex organs and don't wanna be mom, they just do a long pages sword fight till one of them finally pokes through the other. Saw a deep look video on it that I forgot the name of, lol. Rats generally have no musical preference, but on cocaine they like jazz. The scientific name for a gorilla is gorilla. There is enough vitamin A in a polar bear's liver that to eat an entire one would kill you from sheer vitamin toxicity. But it would send a message to the other polar bears, so lose/win scenario. The male giraffe hits the female giraffe's bladder with his head until she starts to pee. Then the male samples the urine and understands whether the female has ovulation and whether it is possible to mate with her. The tusk of a narwhal is actually one of its canine teeth. The female squirrels have a 1 to 2 day menstrual cycle once a year. In Oklahoma it's illegal to walk backwards while eating a cheeseburger. Look it up. Lemons float in water. Limes sink. When the moon is directly overhead, you will weigh slightly less. Facetious has all of the vowels of the English alphabet and they are in order. Panthers don't exist as a species, they are felines with a pigment anomaly. Some guy called Thomas released like 20 rabbits from his house in the 1800s. Now the whole of Australia is populated with rabbits. Earth scaled to the size of a billiard ball has a smoother surface than the full-scale billiard ball. If Wayne Gretzky never scored a single goal in his career, he'd still be the NHL's all-time leading points scorer on assists alone. I still can't really wrap my head around how mammoth that is. High heels were originally invented for men. The higher the heels, the more wealth it represented. Oral sex was technically illegal in Canada at one point. It became official legalized in 1969. The banana equivalent dose, bed, is a unit of measurement for radiation exposure. Some ant colonies collect plant extract as a healing salve and use it to treat injured in their colony. Ponderosa pine tree bark smells like vanilla. Kangaroos can't jump backwards. I'm the World Trade Center was a synth-pop duo whose debut album was released in July of 2001. Moreover, they have a track on that album named September and it's the 11th song. It takes 8 pounds of force to rip off a human ear. That's how much force is needed to crush an empty can of soda. The Eiffel Tower and Nintendo Co have the same age. They were both created in 1889. If you ate around 10 million bananas at the same time, you would die from radiation poisoning. After they killed Pablo Escobar, they relocated out of the animals from his zoo. All except for the hippos, because they were too expensive to move, and assumed they'd die off on their own. But they didn't, they actually thrived, and now Colombia has a hippo problem. The reason there are no purple flags is back in older times the purple color was too expensive to produce. The seeds in apples contain a bit of cyanide, so if you eat enough apple seeds you'll die from cyanide poisoning. The Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada in 1962 by a Greek immigrant called Sampanopoulos. The SR-71 Blackbird was actually designed to leak fuel when it was on that tarmac. The plane flew so fast that the metal would expand during flight, at which point the leaks would seal. Water flow through a 4-inch pipe isn't twice the flow through a 2-inch pipe. It's 4 times the flow. Whales have a penis 5 to 8 feet long and can produce 20 pounds of semen. In 2016, the Pokemon Company held a survey in Japan to see what the most popular Pokemon was out of all Pokemon that existed at the time. Greninja came in first, followed by Arceus and Mew to round out the top 3. The Pokemon with the least amount of votes and declared the least favorite overall was Simisear. Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia is the fear of long words. You only have to be able to fold a piece of average 0.1 mm thickness paper 42 times in half for it to be tall enough to reach the moon. Impossible but mind-blowingly true. If the second toe is longer than the big toe, it is called Morton's toe. The reason red cabbage is called red cabbage instead of purple cabbages, because in older times, the color purple wasn't invented, so everything purple was described as red. Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park is way smaller than its actual size, and velociraptors in Jurassic Park are way bigger than their actual size. In fact, real-life Dilophosaurus is the same size as JP Velociraptors, and real-life Velociraptors are the same size as JP Dilophosaurus. The scientific name for house cat is Felis catus. Heimlich maneuver was only invented in the 70s. Before that, if you choked, the instructions were to throw yourself or the person choking at the back of a chair. I think that is hilarious. Eyeballs don't bounce. A group of unicorns is called a blessing. And a group of ferrets is called a business. There is a metallic asteroid shaped like a dog bone. Cocaine usage in construction is up 55% from last year. If you could remove all the empty space of all the atoms of the earth, its size would be as big as a basketball. Letters to the president have their own zip code. For many years, the Little Tikes Cozy Coupe was the most popular car in the world. Mistletoe originally comes from Anglo-Saxon and means shit on a stick. The seeds are distributed by birds, so the plants grow from their shit on branches. Although this might be useful if you want to ruin someone's cute Christmas kiss. I could also go on a stream of mistletoe info. Sushi became popular in the US in the 90s. Bananas are technically berries, while raspberries and strawberries are not. Cold water removes cum better than hot water. Donald Duck's middle name is Fauntleroy, which is the style of his suit. He was also banned in Finland for a time because he doesn't wear any pants. The highest number that when spelled out has its letters in alphabetical order is 40. Koala babies eat their mother's poop. Your lips and your anus are made with the same tissue. Jim Jones served his followers poisoned Flavor Aid, not poisoned Kool-Aid, as is commonly believed. An erect penis has more blood than a rabbit. Sigmund Freud and his great rival, Albert Moll, died on the same day in 1939. Snakes have 2 dicks. In Star Wars, a lot of prequel trilogy characters seem to be a bad joke from someone who spoke Portuguese to George Lucas. Bees can't fly at night. Japan has nearly 7,000 islands. All these facts are now paradoxically not useless, as they now have a use for answering these types of questions. Rindfleischertikati-Rungsaufgabenüberwachungsabrutragungs is officially the longest German word. Killer whales are not whales, they are actually dolphins. The only reason they are called killer whales is because when translating their real name, which is whale killer, to English, somebody got it backwards, and here we are. There are more atoms in a glass of water than there are glasses of water in the ocean. The word Q is 1 letter followed by 4 silent letters. If you forgot to fill the ice tray and are out of cubes, you can use frozen vegetables. Pig in France was officially executed for killing a child. The end of a shoelace is called an aglet. Did you know that eye drops are blinker fluid? Too much direct sunlight will fuck up a VHS cassette. Eavesdropping is a combination of 2 words, ev and drop. In the old days, it was easier for people to be sneaky and listen in on conversations by standing underneath an ev while it was raining, dripping. Raccoons can fit into holes about 4 inches in diameter. The sun is not exactly in the middle of our solar system. It's actually a few degrees off. Odds the dinosaurs didn't roar, they quacked. The Belgian fries are in danger because the sunflower oil production in Ukraine isn't active anymore. An infant's skull is in 7 pieces, and later in life during childhood, the fragments fuse together making the skull complete. At full speed a Formula 1 rain tire can expel 26 liters of water per second. Algiers and Cairo are the only African cities with metro system. The longest English word with no vowels is rhythm. Fastest man-made object was pothole cover. They used to cover a hole in which was atomic bomb. When it exploded it was moving at a speed of around 60 km/s, so if it wasn't destroyed during ascent in atmosphere then it also beat Sputnik as a first thing on orbit by few months. Charlie Chaplin once placed third in a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. The serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer had a taxidermied penis of one of his victims that he kept in a wooden box in his closet. If you took the bodies of every man who died while building the Golden Gate Bridge and stacked them one on top of the other, you'd be arrested. If you scale the earth to the size of a basketball, the biosphere, from the bottom of the ocean to the top of Mount Everest, is thinner than a coat of paint. Harry Truman's middle name is the letter S. It is not an abbreviation. His parents wanted to join bother grandfathers whose names began with the letter S, so every time you see it as S with that period instead of just S it's wrong. Spam is the closest thing you can buy that tastes like human flesh. Elephants think humans are cute. Chuck Berry farted in a hooker's mouth. The dot above an I is called a tittle. The Beach Boys song Never Learn Not to Love is an altered version of a song called Cease to Exist, written by Charles Manson. Cigarette butts pollute the ocean worse than plastics.